Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome to Group Chart Analysis. I'm putting this out now. I have somewhere to be in the next hour, so I'm just recording this and sending to you guys to look for what's going to be happening tonight. So get right into it. I couldn't even talk, sorry. A lot of the pairs moved last night, but not necessarily the way that we really wanted them to. Not like a big movement from like EU. We had projected out that it was going to drop down to here, come up, and it didn't. It just consolidated. And that was kind of like the reason why I didn't really want to take a look at it. Another thing is, too, is you look at the 15-minute, it never hit that oversold region, which is a very, very big reversal zone. So the fact that I didn't even touch it kind of gave me this belief that it wasn't really going to move. The same thing with GU. Never went oversold. AU. Let's see. AU. This one dropped down, which you could have played this W here. And I was looking at it. I think I told somebody that to take this trade, but it was down there. It's perfect setup for like a little inverted head and shoulders, left shoulder, head, right shoulder, eyes. What else? But I mean, GU shot up a little bit, but a lot of the things didn't really move, and that's also because I forgot this week was NFP week. Didn't even realize that. I forgot it was September. First Friday every month is always NFP. That means NFP is tomorrow. So technically, if you guys are seeing this tonight, it's tomorrow. That's probably why a lot of the pairs are not moving. And I'm just going to be honest, be careful. They're holding up some volatility. A lot of these things are due for some pullbacks and reversals. So let's see. For EU, EU is wicking right now. Let me actually clean this up. Yeah. So it wicked on the catch-up here, which is a nice pullback zone, and it's not divergent on the weekly, which leads me to believe that either this week, finishing this week, going into next week, it could be dropping. So we'll have to see. That's on the daily, the weekly. The weekly is showing that it's in between the pairs. It threw a railroad in the middle. I mean, it's kind of mumbo jumbo. I mean, the RSI is over the stationary 50, which is a good sign for it to go up another push. The daily. The 4 hour is, let's see, it never hit that oversold region too. It's really hard to kind of see what's going to happen here, because let me see if this actually broke this low. It didn't break the low, it maintained it. So this thing could still shoot up, but it's hard to tell. Daily, and there is no trend. You're going to have to draw up some technicals here. Oh, this is why it's this thing. Like, what the hell? So we have that. Support resistance here. Have one here. This one here. All right, so this is what's going to happen. We're going to see it consolidate up in here and here and here. So whichever side it decides to break out to, this is what's going to happen. If it breaks out to this low, breaks out of the trend line, takes out this low at the same time, we'll be looking for sells to shoot it all the way back down to this low down here. Now, let's say it breaks out to the upside. Goes like this. Breaks that. It breaks this high. Comes back, pulls down. You'll buy it into that blueberry. Right? And that's where the first take profit will be if it goes up. Those are the directions you have. So it's got to break out of these trend lines. It's got to break this low. It's got to break this high for it to be considered a reversal part and to continue in the right direction. If it stays in between these two, you can trade it up and down like a fringe trade, but it's not necessarily recommended. So just be careful. The news will make this thing move. GU, we have for that rise. Let's see. Let me clean this up. Now, I wanted this thing to rise up here as well. It's not divergent on the daily. It's the weekly. It's wicking here in the weekly, which is making me believe this thing could still shoot up. It's creeping over the stationary 50. This thing could continue up, and I think it could. Again, it's in the middle. The only thing that I'm seeing here that's leading me to believe that this could actually drop is this. We have divergence. Prices overbought. Going up. This would make this the left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and this would technically drop down to at least there. And on top of that, the overall trend is down. The weekly looks good for a drop. The daily is retesting the stationary 50. It could stop on high, hit the EMA 50 on the daily, and then drop, or it could just drop here. 1 hour, wicked up to the blueberry. This thing's getting ready. It looks like it's gonna get dropped again, to be honest. If you guys want to draw like support resistance too, you could do like here. Notice that where this hit is like identical to that. We do here. So many different zones, but just be careful. This thing looks like it could drop, but we'll see how it goes, see how it plays out here for the rest of the day. AU, still technically a downtrend, weekly still pointing down, which is giving me a confidence to keep looking for sells. This thing is dropping. I think this thing is going to break through, and it's not going to pull back anymore. I think this thing's going to completely break through tonight and make a whole new low, which would then make EU and GU more applicable to dropping as well. So we'll be looking for that to happen tonight. Going into next week, I just believe this thing's going to be a complete drop. This is a level reset. I wouldn't reset it for this long and not reverse already. If they're holding it for this long, keeping all these traders trapped, thinking it's going to be reversal, they're going to sell against it, and it's pointing in that direction for it to keep going. So I'm going to stick with my gut here and tell you guys it's going to keep dropping. But we'll see. Gold, do that golfing pattern earlier. Could we drop weekly? Weekly definitely looks like it could drop again down to that low. I think it is. I think this thing's going to go down here, form a W in this zone. 4 hour up top over the stationary 50, but there is no trend because the EMAs are really close. This could easily break here, come down and drop again, or because I like to have the possibilities, this could go up, go up, go up, come down here, not take out the wick, and then continue up to the blueberry. But the pattern I'm seeing right now is like this bearish channel. If you go down to like the lower time range, you'll see it. 15-minute. Yeah, so like it's gonna do a couple things. I mean, it is gold, it is like a commodity, so I would just be careful with it. But it's either going to drop tonight, break this low, continue down, pull back, and you can re-enter, or it's going to continue up tonight to that blueberry. But that also depends on NFP. My opinion, just the fact that I'm trying to figure out what's going to happen right now on these pairs, and it's not really going as smooth as I like it, is giving me a sign to my body telling me to not do this, is to not trade this NFP, because you're going to be guessing. I mean, overall, I think these pairs will be dropping, but it's not. I'm not 100% confident as I was on certain plays earlier this week. Like, so I gotta take that into account. That if I don't feel that same way, I gotta stick with that judgment and be extra careful. YouTube's looking like a pullback. See, the weekly is definitely dropping. The daily is looking like it could be set up for a reversal or a pullback. 4 hours definitely setting up for something. Could drop though. We'll have to see. It's either going to do this, not take out this low, and then come up, break the blueberry, and go up for a pullback, or in this case, just kind of like a straight rise because of NFP, or it's going to pull back, but then ultimately break the low here, and you guys are going to see a continued trend all the way down. So we'll see how that goes. That's the one that's like pointing out to the obvious view right now. UCAT finally reversed. So what this is doing, tanking. That's a simple pattern right to the water. Daily, It's due for a pullback weekly. It's looking here. It looks like it could go down for a retest. 4 hour. Do that big engulfing. Set the trend again. Hour pulling back. 15-minute pulling back. We'll be looking for this thing to redrop down to the blueberry easily. Consolidation, consolidation, tank. All right, so you guys are looking for UCAT to tank. UJ. I think it's still going to drop. Throwing all these wicks. I think it was we had it dropping last night too, so the continued drops. If you guys took it down to the blueberry, you should have won. So that was good. Now it's hitting a zone that we have to be questioning. It's hitting the 4 hour blueberry. It's either going to do what it did every single other time and start throwing reversal patterns to go up, or it's going to tank back down. Like this. And it's going to drop down to this low. Right. So that's what we're going to see something happen. If this thing takes out this low, you're looking at a shot down to this blue zone. So it should be good. GJ's even more obvious. You're selling the fuck out of GJ. Double hit off of that the water. Back down to low. Hence making UJ more valid for a sell. I would like that you guys should be selling UJ and GJ. These are so tanking. Once it takes out this low, it's game over. Game over. EA. Still consolidating in the zone. Who knows? This thing could be setting up. Still divergent. Drop down. Almost took out the water. Didn't quite do it yet. It's throwing wicks on the daily. It's overbought. Shark fin out of the water. It's hitting that overbought zone. This thing could wick down, people, for a pullback. Hour looks good. We'll have to see what happens. It doesn't take out this wick. This thing comes up. It doesn't take out this zone. It's going to go back down. So just know that. And it's divergent too. Damn, that was a horrible drawing. But you guys get it. Yeah, we're going to be looking for this thing to start the drop tonight. Or possibly actually just break it. That is a possibility. This thing could break. Weekly? Monthly. Coming out with volatility, this thing could break actually, so just be careful. If this breaks this high, it's game over. It's going up to that date, that monthly blueberry. GA. Holy, that's a big engulfing on the weekly. Yeah, you guys are looking for buys. GA's buys. So EA and GA are both buys, and that would make AU both a sell. And EU and GU sells. G Chief. Man, this thing is still didn't take out that. Oh, man. Divergent. It's either going to do this, go all the way back up, or let's look at the higher time frame. Monthly says it's going down. Weekly says it's going down. Daily says it's going down. You're looking for this thing to continue down. It's going to break this low. I guarantee it breaks this low. We'll be witnessing history. It's going to consolidate, and then bam, it's going to drop. You're going to catch some pips. So, all right, people. That is it for tonight. If you miss anything, just go back, rewatch the same pair that I did, and kind of, write it up in your own way. Just be careful. NFP is tomorrow, so be on the lookout during New York session. Everyone have a great night. Peace out.